Betty Peabody, come up, please. She knows everyone and everything that happens in Balboa Park. She and her late husband, Homer, were the recipients of the first Millenium Awards in 2001. Betty?
Thank you, Clark. Thank you so much, Fred, for joining us today. It was terrific, and we know we want to have you come back, and I think Bill is amenable, so the price is right. Thanks, Fred. I want to offer my personal appreciation to every one of you who was honored today and to every one of you in the audience. Parks are man-made, Central Park and Balboa Park as much as Disneyland, but they can be destroyed by nature as well as by ourselves. Lack of resources for maintenance and ravaged by lack of natural resources such as water can lead to their destruction. Our park has never been more challenged. Were the citizens of the 1900s and the 30s any more resilient or determined than we? I think not. In 1910, a Balboa Park exposition was envisioned. The population was 35,000. Funding was declined from the federal government, so Colonel Collier said, and I quote, "The hell with you, we'll do it ourselves." With illustrious citizens like George Marston to promote it, bonds were sold and school children collected, saved, and donated pennies. Kate Sessions had gathered the locals to cover the mesas and valleys with trees and shrubs for the first greening of City Park in 1904. In 1910, a naming contest was held, and Harriet Phillips' Balboa Park supplanted City Park. After the fair, Gertrude Gilbert salvaged the buildings from destruction when they were declared unsafe. She asked for 24 hours and rallied her friends when she declared, "It's like letting a family member die because you can't afford the surgeon." They certainly found the will and the money. Remember G. Aubrey Davidson, president of the 1915 Exposition, Richard Belcher, president of 3536 Expo, and an unemployed Phil Gildred Sr., who was returning with his family to Chile when he was asked to be the 1936 controller, and as an internationalist conceived the International Cottages, today still one of the most vibrant attractions in our park. Think of B. Evenson, who again with a few friends saved the deteriorating buildings in the 60s and 70s and gave birth to the Committee of 100, which now closely monitors those same buildings. During World War II, budgets were cut to 1/4, and that's about where we are now. We're being reduced another 27% in the Park and Recreation budget. People couldn't vacation for many reasons. Money, rationing were two of them, and Ansel Adams said, "We need parks more than ever, and so do we now, to revitalize and recreate ourselves for our own balance." In an interview with David Sibley about his guide to trees, he stated that if he could come back as a tree, it would be a coast redwood. They live in a nice climate, they have a view of the Pacific Ocean, and are generally not threatened by fire or disease. And how would it feel to experience a lifespan of 2,000 years or more? But our coast redwoods are threatened. You are the owners of this park. You own the trees, the lawns, fountains, playgrounds, and even our information kiosks. You also have a responsibility to keep that inheritance safe for your grandchildren so they may enjoy those threatened redwoods. If you saw the PBS series on national parks, you realize the lifelong dedication of people like John Muir, the rangers, and Forest Service employees. But in the background, were you also aware of John D. Rockefeller, quietly and anonymously buying the land that makes up a significant portion of some of our greatest and most popular parks? Bill Gates refers to this as creative capitalism. We have two such members of the Friends who recognize that component. I'd like to introduce you to Louise Hay. Louise, would you stand? An author, lecturer, and park lover. She's responsible for being the impetus for the LED lighting in the park across the bridge and along the Prado. And she not only very generously hosted a reception for Fred Kent in her beautiful home, but as an astute businesswoman, she recognizes the importance of operating costs and balancing the budget of the Friends with her donations. Thank you very much, Louise. Another extremely special couple are Dick and Dorothea Laub. Would you wave or stand over in the corner? The Laubs not only built the fence around Nates Point Dog Park, but remember those coast redwoods? They're favorites of Dick and Dorothea, who work quietly and efficiently without recognition. But Dorothea would like her name on the purple pipes that carry gray water underground. The problem is, we don't have any gray water. So their most recent $50,000 donation is being used to find more efficient methods of irrigation for long-term sustainability of the park's trees and lawns. Thank you both, Dick and Dorothea. Plans are currently underway for a centennial celebration of the 1915 exposition. If we allow the park to deteriorate beneath us, what are the underpinnings for an international celebration to showcase Balboa Park, San Diego, and the West to the rest of the world? What does it say about us as a community? Sustainability is the key to our future when all our systems are working together. If we can provide effective water treatment, the trees and plants will continue to provide the cleansing of the air needed for our physical well-being. Our goal is to awaken on January 1st, 2016, knowing we've succeeded in such symbiotic relationships, we no longer have to think about them. Sorry about that. I'm passionate. As guardians of the greater good and who best understand the park and its full meaning, we invite all of you to join us today with your thoughts, ideas, manpower, and of course, financial contributions. As we learned today, there is no greater good than volunteerism, and there will never be an end to the good you do. On January 1st, 1969, Union Tribune writer Lou Scarr said, and you've heard this before, "A park is unlike any other asset in the city. It is not a building, nor a production line, nor a warm breeze. A park is a living, growing thing that will die if the will of the people dies, or it will flourish as much as they want it to." I'd like to close by saying we may be broke, but we are not broken. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty, as always, for your passionate support.